The Galactic Council chamber fell silent as Ambassador Velthar of the Kryn Collective delivered the grim news. His translucent skin pulsed with distress, patterns that needed no translation. The Zathric Armada has breached the Outer Rim. 17 colony. Worlds gone, 2 billion souls, extinguished in a matter of cycles. His voice trembled. Through the neural interface, our combined fleets cannot stop them. They adapt to every weapon, every strategy. We are without hope. The assembled representatives exchanged worried glances. Crystalline beings, energy creatures, hive minds spanning star systems. Each civilization had contributed their finest warriors, their most devastating technologies. All had failed. Ashley Reeves stood in the observation gallery, her arms crossed, watching the proceedings with detached interest. As a human military advisor, she wasn't supposed to be here. Humanity had only joined the galactic community 50 years ago, barely a heartbeat in cosmic terms. They were considered too young, too primitive, too emotional to contribute meaningfully to galactic affairs. They're going to lose, she muttered to her companion. Alex Chen, humanity's unofficial diplomatic attaché, nodded slowly. His dark eyes reflected the holographic carnage displayed above the council floor. They've been fighting for 3 years with precision and honor. War doctrine straight from their military academies. War isn't an academic exercise, Ashley replied coldly. She'd seen the Zathric tactics. Efficient, logical, overwhelming. They conquered through mathematical superiority, calculating victory probabilities before each engagement. When chances exceeded 80%, they attacked. Otherwise, they withdrew and regrouped. It was warfare distilled to pure game theory. The problem was that every other species in the galaxy fought the same way. Minimize casualties, preserve resources, calculate risk versus reward. War was a chess match played across star systems, governed by rules as ancient as spaceflight itself. Humans didn't play chess when extinction was on the table. They flipped the board. Ambassador Velthar, Ashley's voice cut through the chamber as she descended the stairs, ignoring protocol. You said you're without hope. That's when you call us. The council turned as one. Velthar's skin patterns shifted to confusion. Call the humans. Your species has 3 colony worlds and a defense fleet numbering barely 200 vessels. What could you possibly... We're not offering ships, Alex interrupted, following Ashley down. We're offering something you've forgotten existed. Something you evolved past millennia ago. And what would that be? The counselor of the Zen hegemony leaned forward, her multifaceted eyes gleaming with curiosity. Ashley smiled, and several nearby delegates instinctively recoiled. There was something predatory in that expression, something that touched ancient evolutionary memories they'd long since buried. Desperation, rage, the willingness to sacrifice everything for victory. She pulled up the holographic display, her fingers dancing across the interface. You've been fighting the Zathric for 3 years. We've studied them for 3 months. Want to know what we learned? The chamber waited. They're predictable, Alex continued. Every tactical decision based on probability matrices. They've never encountered an enemy that intentionally chooses disadvantageous positions, that sacrifices pieces without strategic value, that operates outside mathematical optimization. That's suicide, Velthar protested. No, Ashley corrected. That's human. You want to stop the Zathric? Give us command of the defense at the Kepler Junction. The council erupted in protest. Velthar raised his appendages for silence. The Kepler Junction is the gateway to the core worlds. We cannot entrust our survival to a species barely out of their atomic age. Then you'll die with your pride intact, Ashley said flatly. The Zathric will calculate their victory probability at 97% and destroy you systematically. Or you can give humans a chance and introduce them to something they've never encountered. Unpredictability wrapped in organized chaos. 3 days later, Admiral Marcus Wolfe led humanity's contingent of 43 ships, everything humanity could spare, to the Kepler Junction. The Allied fleet of over 2,000 vessels awaited, their commanders skeptical, their crews confused. The Zathric arrived exactly on schedule, their armada of 5,000 vessels approaching in perfect geometric formation. Their probability matrices gave them 98% chance of victory. They had never fought humans before. Ashley watched from the command deck of the UNSS Indomitable, her tactical board alive with data. All human vessels, Protocol Berserker. Authorization Reeves Alpha 7. Across the fleet, human ships abandoned defensive positions. They didn't reinforce weak points or concentrate fire on logical targets. Instead, they accelerated directly into the Gothric formation at maximum velocity, engines screaming, weapons blazing indiscriminately. It was madness. It defied every principle of space warfare. The Zothric computational network stuttered, trying to model this behavior. Enemy vessels approaching with 0% survival probability. Targeting patterns showing no strategic value. Energy expenditure exceeding any conceivable tactical benefit. The error cascaded through their fleet consciousness. Does not compute. In that moment of confusion, the human ships struck, not with sophisticated weaponry or elegant tactics, but with raw, brutal violence. They rammed Zothric vessels, detonated their own reactors in proximity kills, launched boarding parties on suicide missions that captured enemy command ships through sheer audacity. The Allied fleet, following the human vanguard, found the Zothric formation fractured and reeling. For the first time in 3 years, the enemy retreated with victory probability still above 60%, because they'd encountered something their mathematics couldn't account for. Warriors who refused to accept the calculations, who redefined victory as forcing the enemy to blink first. Ambassador Velthar found Ashley in the medical bay afterward, her arm in a regeneration sleeve from the explosive decompression she'd survived. 15 human ships destroyed, over 4,000 casualties. His skin pulsed with sorrow. Such a terrible price. Ashley looked up, her eyes hard. We stopped them. That's what matters. But the cost is what humans pay for survival, Alex finished, entering with fresh casualty reports. We're not the strongest species or the smartest or the most advanced, but we're the most stubborn. We don't know how to quit even when we should. Velthar was quiet for a long moment. The Galactic Council wishes to discuss terms for humanity to lead the defense. Tell them, Ashley said, that they're calling in the galaxy's most dangerous species, not because we're powerful, but because when extinction threatens, humans don't calculate odds. We make the universe recalculate around us. The war lasted another 8 months. The Zothric never adapted to human tactics because there was nothing to adapt to. Chaos has no pattern. Eventually, facing an enemy that redefined victory conditions to include mutual destruction, they withdrew to their home systems and sued for peace. The galaxy learned a valuable lesson. Evolution may favor intelligence, but sometimes survival favors something far more primitive, the desperate fury of a species with everything to lose and nothing left but hope. Wrapped in madness, humanity had finally found its place among the stars, as the monsters you called when all hope was gone.